beautiful. So tired of the rain.
Yeah, I thought I would never complain about rain again after that whole drought thing, but now I'm like, what are we doing here? Where is summer? How are you?
I've been better. I've got flu. I'm sick.
Oh,
Yeah, which has not been fun.
this is
I've been
not
in bed
fun.
for the last 2 days, and I'm valiantly protesting that it's not COVID-19.
I think you probably know if it was COVID-19. I don't think it's like normal flu.
No, and this is my normal, this time of the year, snotty nose, sore throat,
Yeah.
sick head. So I have a cocktail, which I will be taking in a second.
Well, it's just you and me. So how about we start, and then there's some others joining us for the second one, and you can have a little break, and we can go again.
Yes, no problem.
Is that okay?
My alarm's going to go off in a second.
Okay.
My alarm, just hang on a second, it's going to go off any second now. There we go, close it. There we go, go away. Right. Okay. I was quite proud of myself. I actually managed to log on without any drama.
Fantastic. And we live and learn, hey?
It's a first.
Awesome. It's a first. Oh, Sharon, that doesn't sound good. Right. Okay. So we're doing this sugar thing this morning. Sugar sheets, the first thing. Okay. So I used a few recipes to try to test out, and I went back this morning to double check the recipe and couldn't find the recipe that I'd used. So we're now working on my memory, which is not the best. Okay. So we're going to put 100 grams of caster sugar into a bowl. You can make more or less. Let's just start with a small quantity and we'll see how we go with the, I don't know, what are you going to do with it?
How much coverage?
Sorry?
How much will 100 grams give you in terms of coverage?
Less than a whole cake.
Okay.
Have you got a cake? What are you going to do with it?
I haven't got a cake. I've got a dummy. Much the same as we did the last time.
Cool, yeah.
Same size as the last time.
Let's do 100 grams. We can always do more than one color,
Sure.
and kind of make a marble effect if you like. Okay, so 100 grams. And I think that this technique is somewhat weather dependent. So it is very rainy here. When I did it the day that I did the picture, I had some trouble also getting it to set. So I'm going to talk you through that because I think it has more. Yeah, maybe. Well, you don't need to put it on now. It's just to sort of warm it up if we can't get it to set enough. Even just with the fan on is fine for this time. Okay. Then I also found that mixing the color in at this stage is probably better.
Okay.
So I don't know what color. Do you have some powdered colors? I know I said gel colors, but now I'm thinking it might be easier just to mix it in the powder.
Just about any color you could think of in both powder and gel. So what do you suggest?
Yeah, let's do. I'm gonna do powder.
Okay. What color are you using?
I'm gonna use purple. I don't know. Purple. And I'm using one with a bit of shimmer in it, just to see if that gives us an even more interesting effect. But I don't think you have to. I don't know. I'm not sure it will actually show up.
I actually don't have any purple color.
Maybe.
I'm going to use old rose. Let's do some old rose. How much do you normally put in?
Oh, just so you get a color you like. So that one in the picture, I don't know if you saw the picture, I did with gel, and I wanted it to be like a gem red color, but it was a bit darker than I had hoped. And of course, in those instances, it's, you know, you can always put more in, but you can't take it out. So And I didn't really want to make more because I just was doing a little mock-up. So.
Well, I quite like that colour.
Oh, good.
Baby
Okay.
pink. A little bit more, just a touch.
And then yeah, you go.
These Barco powder colours, they are really nice.
Yes, I actually really like the Barco products in general. I've been quite impressed with them.
Yeah.
And they're made here in Cape Town, and
they're local. I'm all about local at the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
How does that look?
That looks lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. Nice pink. Pretty.
Okay.
Okay. I also think, sorry, having done that dark one, that the lighter colors give a better effect actually, because they're more shiny. You can see the actual glitter of the sugar a bit better. Okay, then you're going to mix in your CMC. The recipe said a teaspoon, but then in the end, because it was quite moist, I ended up adding at least 2 teaspoons.
2 teaspoons.
So I don't have my teaspoon measure. I'm going to put that in. And then a little bit more, I think. So like 2 of those. We've got an audience. Yes, maybe, yeah, maybe 2 of those.
2 of those, okay. Like that.
Everyone say hello. Perfect, yes.
Right.
And I think this is where the sort of, you'll see once you start making it, if it's too soft and too fragile, then you can always add more CMC. I put it in the oven for a bit to see if I could firm it up that way. That did work, but I think the CMC probably gives you a better result in humid weather.
Yeah.
Because the oven, it warms it and it sets it, but then as soon as the humidity comes back, it softens again.
Now, I've been reading and watching a lot of the things on the cake flicks.
Yeah.
And then they were saying that you must spray any of these sugar things with the PME glaze.
Oh, lacquer, yes. But have you tasted it?
No, I have some, but I haven't tasted it.
You haven't tasted it? It's really, really, really bitter.
Oh, is it?
So, yes, I think it would work, but I think you should use it sparingly.
Wow.
What is happening here?
Right.
Okay, so then we're going to add 30 grams of the glucose syrup. Okay.
Mine.
And I've just got this one.
Yeah, mine's the same.
Yeah, I think they're all more or less the same.
I can't remember where I bought it. I've had it a while.
I see mine has actually expired. I just saw it now. 14th of the 8th, 2020.
Yeah, mine has 2, but anyway, never mind.
I have so much expired stuff because I was expecting to do big courses and then, you know,
didn't happen.
Lockdown happened.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's the kind of thing that goes off though.
Oh, because it doesn't go off. Surely not.
No, I don't think so.
How many grams?
30.
Yeah, too much. I've now got 42 in there. Now, how do I?
Yeah, that's why I'm going so slowly. Can you scoop some out?
Yeah, I'm going to have to. Yeah.
That's why I'm going so slowly because I've got some on my spoon here that I won't only reuse the spoon. So. There you go.
That's going to have to do. I don't know how much I've taken up, but I think it's enough. Yeah. Now this is a nice big sticky mess. Excuse me, I'm just going to go wash my hands.
Okay. I'm going to call that 30.
And the joy of glucose syrup is that it doesn't come off.
It's so sticky. It's really quite thick. Okay.
Right.
And again, I wouldn't worry too much if you've got a little extra, a little bit less. I think we can adjust it. I think that is the key to all of this, is being able to adjust it so that it does what you want it to do, not.
Yeah.
Because as I say, I've had, using the same recipe, I've had different results sort of depending on the weather kind of thing. So
yours is quite runny. Mine isn't that runny. Is it because mine's cold?
maybe. And that's also a good point. So if you've got, yeah, just mix it in and let's have a look, see what it looks like. Yeah, I feel like this is never going to mix together.
No, if you get to that point where you wonder whether you should put your fingers in there.
I think I'm going to do that in a moment. Actually, maybe I'll try to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
And the color darkens a bit. I don't know how your color is looking. My color is darkening. It's getting wet.
Yeah, it's not so pale. It's actually a nice pink, must say.
Good. Yeah, because I think that's the other thing, is getting the color you want without too much trial and error.
Gonna have to use my fingers, I'm afraid. Yeah.
Definitely. I am.
Mm.
It's very sticky. And I suppose you could grease your fingers with some wholesome or something when you're working with it. Maybe Frank Cook, yeah, just to stop it from like attaching to you.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're looking for a texture like wet sand. Or what's that stuff that's kinetic sand? I don't know if you know what that is.
I know what you mean, the slime.
Yeah, the one where it like moves and
yeah,
stuff. Okay, yeah. Messy, messy business. Then we can see my hands here. Like
yeah,
shiny. Okay. All right, I think mine is mixed through.
No, mine isn't mixed through yet.
I'm just gonna put mine aside and actually, do you mind if I just go and wash my hands? I just have to go to the other room to do that.
Well, I'm gonna do the same thing.
I'll be back in 1 second because that is a sticky, sticky mess.
Juliet, is that what it's supposed to look like? Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now I can, yes. Can you hear me now?
Fantastic. Yes, and you're much clearer. You were a bit like scuffly muffly.
Is that all right?
I think it's these headphones. That looks great. That looks
Okay.
great.
I'm gonna wash my
Okay,
hands.
just put it aside for a minute. Yeah.
Sure. It really is sticky.
It is very sticky. Okay. Right. So depending on where you're going to put it, I also have a dummy. I'll just put it there so it's right on the screen. I'm going to make like a strip that's going to go around the outside. That's my plan. Okay.
Yeah.
Generally, the pictures are that it doesn't go the whole way around. It's in pieces or it meets up, and there's a bit of a something between. You know. So we're going to. I'm going to just use this paper. I'm going to cut a strip and sort of see where I want it to go. Just to see how long it's going to be and how big that's how much our quantity is. I don't know. Do you have a silicone mat or paper or something to do this on?
I've got both, and I cut up. I pre-cut, so maybe I cut more. How's that for length on an 8-inch cake?
Yes. Hold it up around your cake and have a look.
Okay, let me get it. Excuse me, I've got a starving cat.
It's fine.
Otherwise, she won't leave me alone, and we won't be able to do anything.
And I'm not sure if I actually put this on the list. Sorry, I don't mean to be springing things on you, but a little rolling pin, if you have one, will be quite useful as well.
Yeah, I've got a big one and a little. I've got several little ones. The little
Yeah,
ones,
just a little one.
like we had at your course, or just the normal silicone little one?
Well, actually, a big one would be fine if you're not in a tray. I'm just doing it in the tray. So actually, no, I'm not going to do the tray. Can you put in the tray? Around the tray. Anyone, it's fine. Just to flatten it nice and flat.
Here's my tray. Is that all right? I've got others.
That's perfect.
This is my biscuit baking tray.
Okay, so I'm going to just put it onto my paper.
Yeah.
So that, whoopsie.
Let's see. How far around must it go?
From here, so it needs to be. Oh, it's up to you, however you want it to look.
This only goes 2/3 of the way. What was yours?
And it's also only really 2/3 of the way.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not that phased because it's just a dummy. So. I think we might have to make more of this. Let's see, because I'm not sure that this is going to fill up this whole piece. But I had thought maybe to do sort of one color and then marble it a bit with the other color. But let's just give it a little whirl here.
A little bit so that I can. Yeah.
Okay. So what you want to do is pat it down. As I say, I don't want to touch it right now because my hands are getting so sticky.
I've got 2 pieces of paper. One on top and one at the bottom.
That's a good idea. You should be giving class. Why am I giving class? You know more.
Sorry? I should be what?
Nothing. Giving the class. You know all the tricks here.
No.
Okay. Yes, that works brilliantly. There you go. Anyway, so we need to thin it out and sort of smash it together, because if it's too thin, it's going to bend and flop. If it's too thick, obviously we won't have enough to go around in our thing. So
smaller Rollington. I think the smaller Rollington's better.
Might be easier. I don't know. I don't have space to use a big one here, so I've just got my small one. So beautiful. I can't cope. I love it.
I was so excited when I saw you were doing this because I've wanted to do it for a while and I've not known how to. So
yeah, I did a few trial and errors to see what's going on, and then I was like, let's do it. Just let's do it. Wing it, man. Once I sort of mastered it, I was like, sweet.
what I like about it is that it's forgiving.
It's very forgiving, and it's in the style that I am very into at the moment of it doesn't have to be perfect. It's actually kind of nice if it's a bit ripped. And so if you find that it's cracking, mine is a bit cracky. How's yours? What is your texture like?
Mine's not actually, it's got big gaps. So let's just keep, I'm trying to fill the gap.
Okay, so just have a look here for me. So what I'm doing is I'm folding this over, then put your other thing on, roll it out, compress it. Have a look, see. So where these cracks are, these kind of cracks, that is going to cause problems. So you can see.
You know, mine's not good. Look, mine's got big holes in it. See?
I can see. Maybe we've put too much CMC. Shall we make another little batch and then with a little bit less CMC and then mix them together?
Yeah, maybe.
Because mine is feeling, I thought, because it's so humid, and I did end up adding more to that other one. But I also had quite a lot of gel coloring in that one. Okay, I'm just going to mix up another little batch here.
Mine is so close, the battery's dying.
Yeah, my hands in there again. I said I feel like putting my hands in there again. Okay, so this one I haven't actually added any color or any CMC yet. I'm just going to mix it up just to get it to the point of the sand.
grams, eh?
30 grams. You know what I'm actually going to do? Okay, so I've got it mostly to the sand stage. I'm just going to tip my purple in here quickly. Because what am I going to do? I'm not going to mix it on the paper.
You would?
Give it a so my purple and my my white sand are together now.
Well, you going to add more CMC?
So I haven't added any more CMC because I think that that's what's causing it to be quite dry. I don't know. I'm just going to mix this up and see what it does. If I need to add more CMC, I can always add more.
Yeah, let's see what it looks.
I don't know. How's your texture? See, this feels like a much better texture now. Maybe it's because we left sand.
I haven't looked at it. I'm still busy mixing. I'm trying to keep my hands out.
So I don't know. I don't know if you can see that.
That looks nice.
Yeah, I think this is, yeah, so we should have just stuck with the 1 teaspoon of CMC like we were told to. I shouldn't have gone off my resume.
You know what? It's trial and error, and the nice thing about this is that we're doing it all together, and we all learn together.
That's true. There we go. Okay, so this for me is a much better. It's not so crumbly now. It's holding its shape more or less.
Okay, I haven't got there yet. I'm still trying to mix.
Okay, I'm just going to go wash my hands again. Sorry, there's no sink in this room. I'll be back in 1 second.
No, mine's going to be nice and mottled. There, how's that?
That's great. Sorry, I didn't hear any of that. I somehow got disconnected. And now you can just see the back of my cupboard. There we go.
There we go.
Just want to get back this orientation here. Sorry.
There we go. I'm just going to quickly wash my hands.
Here we go. Oh, okay. Awesome.
Because we've got more paper, I mean more sugar, do we need more paper?
Let's see how we go. I was getting the feeling from that first batch that it would definitely not fill up my paper. So this is another reason I want to do more. Okay.
Let's do this.
You needed to cover everything, the whole cake.
Oh, the whole page?
No, I'm asking, do you want it to cover the whole cake?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
What's the paper?
That looks great. Okay, so just compress it a bit, hopefully to get rid of any. Oh, that's much better. See, look how perfect that is. It looks like it's got measles there.
I must tell you, I've left this. Remember the cake we did the last course?
Yes.
I've left it on my counter, and I've had so many people say how nice it looks.
Oh, awesome. How great.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not potential clients because we're not there yet. You know, everybody's being very careful about COVID.
Well, I suppose that they have friends who might have the potential clients. So I'm rolling, but I'm also just kind of pressing down with my rolling pin. You could use a smoother for this, actually, probably. Okay. Oh, yes, that's looking much better.
I feel like I need to be Arnold Schwarzenegger for this. Oh, that's better, yeah. But it's not very thick.
If it's too thin, you're going to battle. So just smooth it. And you want to get a nice and even thickness if you can, probably about a 1/2 centimeter, which I know sounds very thick, but and if you do have cracked bits, so there's a big crack here, just smush it together and roll over it again. And so what I did is, when I did it, mine was much wetter than this, and I rolled it out and then I put it in the oven for a bit, just with the fan on, just to kind of
Hold it up and you tell me. Ugh. Not gonna work. The problem I've now got, don't have to hold it that's even.
the edge is not even.
Okay.
What did you say? Sorry.
That we've got to have one edge that's even because we're going to put that against the cat.
Oh, okay. All right. So at the bottom here is where we want to have this even edge. Well, it's not at the bottom of the screen, but so what I'm doing is I'm folding this over to get a flat edge there. You can even fold it over and then put your, which will give you one really, hopefully one really flat edge. Okay. But you can also just trim it if you need to. I don't think I brought a palette knife. What have I got? Of course not. Why would I bring everything I need? That would be just silly. Let's see if I can trim it here. Okay, how are you going there? Bits that are all coming off or falling off or extra, just collect them because you can reuse them. Okay.
No, this has left a ridge.
Sorry?
It doesn't look so great.
Doesn't look so great. Okay, what is wrong with it?
You can see where I folded it over. Ooh.
Oh, la, la. Are you okay?
Not a good day today.
Yeah, this is not to one up your suffering, but I have wax in my ear and I can only hear out of one ear. And I haven't had a chance to go to the doctor to get it.
Let me show you. Let me find a thing to pick up and show you. Let me use my computer. Hopefully, I'm not going to absolute havoc.
Don't drop it.
So much stuff on my computer so that the cats don't walk across the keyboard. I have 2 cats that really believe that they need to help.
Oh yes, I hear you.
You see? Can you see that line?
I can see that line.
And you can see the 2 holes.
I can see the 2 holes. So the holes, just break some off the edges where you want it to be like a rough edge, like here maybe, and bung that into those holes. The line, I think, is fine, and I'll tell you why, because we're going to lift it up and stick that side on the inside of the cake.
Oh, okay, okay.
So you're actually going to see what's on this side. Whoopsie, I'm not breaking my hand. Yeah, okay. And so for me, I've got my bottom edge here quite straight. I cut a bit off, but that didn't work that successfully. I think folding the paper over works better.
It works well for me. Okay.
Okay, so that's going to be on the bottom here. Now I've made a nice big break in mine, which you can see there. So I'm going to bang that in there. And then what I want is to have a kind of a ripped edge around the top and where the end of the sides are. Because I wanted to have that kind of like wild, oh yeah, I don't know, broken. So I don't know if you can see my shape is quite straight at the moment. I'm going to just pull a few pieces off here.
Mine looks like a mountain range.
But I think it's a good thing. I think it's what you want. Just a bit more like
Wild and woolly.
excitement. Wild and woolly. Okay. And if you see any places where it's a bit thin, pull those in and then just go over them again. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's sort of better. Here now, another. Ay. And then when we stick it onto the cake, okay, so obviously if you had a real cake, it would have something on it, butter icing or fondant or whatever it might be. It needs to be sticky so that this whole thing can stick to it. Okay. Okay, so I don't know if you can see how thick it is. It's quite thick. Okay.
Yeah,
I think anything thinner than that and you're going to really battle to get it to stay up or do anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. How's your bottom edge?
It's fairly straight. I'll pick my computer up and let you see it again.
That's James. Yes, that looks great. That looks great.
Okay.
Okay. So if it was butter, thinner.
No, it's a little bit thinner than yours, but not much.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I just think that if it's too thin, as soon as you try to lift it, it'll just break into a million pieces and you'll be irritated. But you know what? It doesn't matter. If it does break, you just mush it back again and you go again. It's not the kind of thing that's unforgiving like that. Okay, so if you had a fondant cake, you would brush it with some glue. On the underneath.
Yeah.
If you have a butter icing cake, you can put a bit more butter icing or some glue or some piping gel or something just to make it sticky. Where you're going to stick it on. You can put the glue onto the sugar, but I think if you mess it up then and you want to redo it, that makes your sugar quite sticky again. So I'm going to put the glue on the cakes.
Okay.
But I think it's optional, however you want to do it. I've just got this glue. Actually, for my test one, I use the piping gel. I just don't have it here.
That's the one I've got. Okay.
Just something to make it sticky. Okay, I've got a brush. I'm just going to brush it on the side here.
I see you don't have yours covered with.
No, there's nothing. It's raw polystyrene. It was just that kind of day yesterday. So for some reason, my power kept going out yesterday, and I had baking, and it's just so chaotic. I was like, well, it's the technique that counts.
Uncle Eskom.
I don't know. It was not load shedding. It was something else. It would go out and then come back on and go, you know.
That's so annoying.
I thought maybe it was some kind of storm thing.
They tell me that Telkom no longer is going to be doing internet ADSL, which is what I've got. Because I've got fiber in our area. And I like Telkom. I'm probably the only person in the entire country who likes Telkom as a service provider. But I like them as a service provider. The problem is that I now have to find someone for the 1st of September to give me fiber.
Is there fiber laid? Is there the option of fiber?
Yeah, fiber laid, yeah.
Oh, that's easy enough. Just get whatever. There's lots of places that do it.
No, I know, but I've got to get hold of Telcom to cancel my line.
Oh, yeah, you do have to. You can't. They can't do anything until it's alcohol. Well, actually, oh, yeah. Let me ask my husband. I'll text you if I get in because he's in charge of the stuff. And I actually think that the fiber people did cancel the ADSL for him. I'm not sure. I can't remember now.
I'm thinking of going with Frogfoot or Vumatel.
Yes, I don't. I think we have AfriHost or Afri something or other.
What do they like in terms of cost?
I have no idea. My husband is firmly in charge of anything that involves computers because he's in IT and he works from home. So we have the uncapped, best, whatever, top of the range. Because otherwise it's just too slow and it's too.
He can't do his job.
Yeah. So we have, we've got it good.
Okay, so I've painted.
Have you painted it? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stick it on. Okay, so when you pick it up, obviously you want to be careful when you lift it. Where it is thinner, it's where it will break. Like here, I think this side of mine is quite thin. I didn't realize it was quite this thin until I picked it up now. But you're going to just pick it up and stick it onto the side. I've been using this bottom bit of paper here to push that in. I'm just going to fold that under so that it's out of the way.
Yeah.
Because I don't want the paper to get stuck in there. Okay. And I don't know how easy it would be to pick up one to go all the way around the cake, actually, to be honest. Okay, just stay here, cake. Stop going. Whoopsie. Yeah, okay, so that on I stuck it on the sticky side. There you go.
Yeah, good.
So this, I don't know if you can see here, this is the piece that I said is really thin. It actually fell down as I stuck it on. And look at my polystyrene moving around. I'm just going to take this whole bit off here because it's too thin. Okay, but that's looking pretty decent actually. But not sticking to the polystyrene. I should have covered my polystyrene. I think I stuck it on the side that I didn't glue. See?
I actually seem to have glued my whole thing.
I don't know, nothing is sticking here. Okay. Oh, it looks awesome. I don't know if you can see it, but I think it's looking beautiful.
Like that?
Is it on?
Hold on. Pull this down a little bit.
Shame, don't stress. Oh, that looks beautiful. So I think it's maybe a little bit thin.
Folding in. See how it's folding
because
in?
I can see it's because it's a bit thin.
Okay.
Okay, so I think what you should break some away because it's just going to keep folding. And I think because of the CNC, over a bit of time, it will sit firmer. So if you can get it to stay up for a while, I think it probably will eventually set. There we go.
How does that look?
That looks awesome. How do you feel about it?
I'm super impressed with myself.
Awesome.
Cake genius.
Cake genius. I love it. Okay, so got some cracked bits. I don't know. I've got a few little small cracks from where I was fiddling with it earlier. Like here, you can see them. If you don't want those, then you can just put your paper over
and smooth it.
And just smush it a bit more with the rolling pin or whatever. Just try and smooth them out a bit.
I don't have.
But actually, I don't think it's a big deal. I think the cracking is part of the appeal of this type of style. Just showing you in case you have a thing that you don't like. And then we're going to paint the edges a bit with some gold just to make them, to jazz them up a little bit. And you know, it's quite moldable. You can kind of do stuff with it.
So impressed.
But yeah, and this patch where I glued it is now very wet. Okay, I'm just going to just leave that alone. It's just going from bad to worse. Right, okay, then for the painting, I think you probably know how to do this already. Just a bit of gold dust and some vodka or whatever you've got.
Yeah.
To make a little bit of paint. And a smallish brush, doesn't have to be tiny, depending on how you want the whole thing to be. Where have I put the quick dry? Oh, right in front of my face. Of course. Oopsie.
This is so much fun.
And then if you wanted to make another piece, you could, to cover the other half of your cake. Or if you want to just leave, it's totally up to you how you want it to be, I guess. What your kind of design is.
My problem is I've got little spots in the bottom.
That are holes.
That are holes, but that's because I'm adding extra on the front here. So I had some that I took off the top. So I just shove it in and push it in, huh?
Just shove it in and then take your paper and rub over it. I think you might see this line, like you saw the line at the bottom.
Yeah, so then can't you use the gold paint to sort of kind of paint that in?
Absolutely. What a good idea.
Okay.
So I don't know how clear this is in the screen, but I'm just painting the very top edge.
I can see.
Yeah. And again, I think this kind of, you know, again, it depends on what kind of style you want this whole thing to have at the end. If you want it to be just a subtle hint of gold, you know, a full-on Bollywood, more is more, it's totally up to you. But I think it's, you know, just to kind of blend it in a bit so that if there are cracks or something, they kind of become part of the, like here. I don't know if you can see this crack here.
Yes.
I feel like that would benefit from having some gold in it. Maybe a smaller
Absolutely.
brush. This brush is going to make a bit of a mess.
What color gold do you use, Julie?
So this one I'm using is Barco Sun Gold.
Okay.
But whatever you've got, I don't know.
And
Actually,
are you using just the quick dry or just plain?
I'm using the Barco Quick Paint.
Quick paint, okay.
I don't think you can just dust it on. I think it will just go everywhere then. I think you need to have a paint.
Yeah. Okay.
So what was it? That other company, Roll Chem, they used to have this super gold or whatever it was. And I love that.
Was wonderful.
I loved that stuff. And then it had copper or something. It was filtered on the market because it had non-edible items in it.
I was
so
get off the market.
I know. Anyway, so now we're using this, but it's not really the same. I don't have to give you quite the same effect. It's not really as shiny.
Nobody seems to have a decent one.
I think because to get the really decent color, you have to have the non-edible items.
The non-edible. Yeah.
It's like a copper or something that was in it that was poisonous.
Yeah.
Just get off there. You've got a problem from the beginning. Sorry?
How fine is your brush?
I've got two brushes here. So the one I'm using is this quite a fat one.
Yeah.
But then I went into that little crack. I used this fine little one here.
Okay. So would that be okay?
Yes, that's fine. I think you might need a thinner one if you have to go into a tiny crevice. Okay. But yes, that looks fine. Like here, I don't know if you can see this guy here, also a nice deep crack.
Oh, beautiful.
So having a small brush is easier to get in there without getting it everywhere. And this, if you can feel your sugar now, mine is becoming quite firm actually. And the one that I did, Is it still very soft?
Still very soft, yeah.
So if you're battling with it being very soft, add a bit more CMC, not too much, as we've learned.
Yeah.
Or before you put it on the cake, just let it firm up a little bit in the oven, just with a fan, or you just want it to be that it's not like yours where it fell inwards. I think personally it's because it's a bit thin. From here it looks thinner than mine.
Yeah, it is thinner than yours.
But so thicker, roll it thicker, and if you're still battling, then let it dry a little bit. You could probably just leave it out on the counter for a bit to dry. I was in a rush that day, so I just put it in my oven. The oven was a little bit warm. I had baked something earlier, and I just had the fan on. So it wasn't like I was putting it in hot. I just wanted it to just sort of dry out a little bit. But anyway, my point is that over time, I think the CMC will cause it to quite hard. It just takes a bit of time. You know, CMC doesn't work straight away. And yeah, like if you can't fix it with CMC, you can't fix it.
Yeah.
Although a friend of mine, she phones me and she says she wants to make millionaire's shortbread, and she's watched a video on YouTube.
Yeah.
Of course, because everyone thinks they're an expert after they watch YouTube. And she says, "You've got to watch this video. It's an Irish woman." And she says, in Ireland, there's a saying that if butter or whiskey can't fix it, it can't be fixed. Which I must say, I rather like that. I think I'm going to adopt that.
Yeah.
I was going to say also, sorry, the one that I did for the picture, which was just it's just a dummy inside, has been sitting on my shelf ever since then, and it has not flopped down or anything. That had that two teaspoons of CMC that I had added, and it's still sitting there just the same. The wafer paper did sag a bit when it was very wet and rainy. How's it looking there? The gold really makes it happen. I like this. This is looking good. How are you going? I can see. It looks good.
I'm quite chuffed, actually. And now you can.
Yay!
It's easier than I thought it would be.
It's very easy. Yeah, I almost feel like I shouldn't be giving classes on something. It's so easy.
Don't be silly.
Okay, so when you get to going down the side where your cake is, obviously mine is just a dummy. There's nothing there. Just, I think, switch maybe to a smaller brush. What you don't want is what I've now got, which is some gold on the fondant. You want it to be separate.
Okay.
But if you are using a small brush, it's a little bit easier to aim, I think.
I'll get my very fine. I've got lots of fine brushes.
Just for those little patches.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not sure it really matters. It also, again, depends on the design of the cake. If there's a bit of gold on the cake, maybe that's, you know, if you've got a marble cake underneath, it doesn't really matter. On your white fondant, I would say maybe you don't want gold going everywhere, looking like messed it up.
Like,
you know.
if you're doing this like a dark color onto a light color, or vice versa, yeah, you've got to be careful.
Just maybe use a small brush. Rather let it be that you chose to put it there, then it went there by accident, and now you have to fix it.
A haphazard thing.
Okay, this whole section is also falling off here. Okay, you did too. Hang on. Yeah, this I don't think I had any glue here. This is not stuck on. Can you see?
Oh, that's what happened.
It's gradually down.
The glue is on the other side.
So if you see here, that's more or less how it's going to look. I don't know. It's more light on it. I don't know. Can you see it?
Yeah. Looks beautiful.
If you want to, so this is really tiny. There's a few little cracks in here. You can go into those cracks with the gold too if you want. I guess it's up to you how we want that gold. Is it a design element or not? But I wanted to make it look like a
Carnival.
seam or whatever. I don't know. I don't really know that much about geology.
It's geode
Geode type thing. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if I like it now.
I originally didn't like them, and I'm slowly warming up to them.
I don't know. I'm very into things that are not fondant. I'm so over fondant.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just don't know how to make it, so I think that's why I haven't warmed up to it.
There we go. Okay, so there we go. That's kind of the story.
Hey,
Do you have any questions? That's looking lovely. Oh, the gold makes it pop. I like it.
And we're done.
Basically, what time is it? Let's have a look here. Yeah, we're quite a bit early. So, what was I going to say? Yeah, I don't really have anything more to tell you about this. Do you have any questions?
No, I just need to write down the recipe so that I don't forget it. My memory is notorious.
I will send it to you if you want.
Super, thank you. And that's it. There you go.
Ta-da! I love it.
I thought that to go on to the next class we're doing. May I talk about the next class?
Yes, of course.
Because I've been in bed for the last 5 days, I've not had a chance to print the
Oh,
flowers.
that's fine.
So I need to.
So let me just show you the shape. You don't need to print it, you really don't. I think you can do it just freehand. I've never actually used a template before. I just do them freehand. I just find that in classes people like to have something that they can see. Yeah. So the petal template, you can just draw this freehand. That is not hard to do, I don't think. Okay. And then this other thing, I don't want to cut it up because I want to cut it up just now. If you can see here, so it goes, it's basically just a spiral. Of course, this pen is not working. Yeah. And then it's just got these rough edges, which we're going to make. So I don't think you need to worry. I mean, print it if you want to, but I don't think you need to print it.
I don't have a printer, so I've got to. Yeah, that's the problem. At home, I don't have a printer. I print it down.
That's fine. Because I wasn't sure if people would have printers, so I was like, well, just make it something that they can do with a pen.
What I can
freehand
do,
or however.
While I'm waiting, is take some what you call a paper and actually trace it off the computer screen. Can do that.
Yeah, maybe. If it's, as I say, just a. So the petal is just a kind of a normal petal shape. It's nothing fancy really.
Yeah.
And this other thing, you can trace it if you want, but I think this you can do freehand. It looks awesome. Well done, yay.
I'm so chuffed. I think that's brilliant. Thank you.
Hooray. Awesome.
Amazing.
For the next one, what are we doing? What else do we need? Just have a look here. Okay, so for the next one, have you got some wafer paper or rice paper?
I'll put rice paper. Let me show you what
This is the one.
Hopefully it's the right one.
This is the one I got. I can just use
I bought this at Bakington. Normal rice paper.
Perfect. Yes, no, I think it's the same as mine. Normal rice paper, perfect. Yeah. And then you're going to need some, and some brush and some scissors.
I've got scissors.
And that's it. Yeah, that's all you need.
And I need
some colors. Yeah. And some little bowls actually. So I've got these little bowls. So that we can mix different colors with the water if you want. But I mean, again, it's just up to you what colors you want to do.
Okay, I'm not sure if I've got too many of those, but I can definitely have a look through my.
Tupperware or whatever. It doesn't have to be anything fancy.
I've got enough crockery to host a dinner party for 60 people. Somewhere in there, I will have it.
Well, you could do, don't get out your crockery, just one of these things to mix colors in.
Tell me something now, with
Cool.
this sugar, with the sugar sheet.
Yes.
Can you make that into flowers? I saw on your Facebook, I mean on YouTube, well, not YouTube, on
Somewhere.
Pinterest, the Pinterest thing, you know, as happens, one kind of moves on and looks at other things and all the rest of it. And there was a woman who had cut flowers out of it.
Are we talking about the wafer paper, or are we talking about the sugar, the thing we've done now?
The sugar sheet.
Oh, I don't know. Do you think it would be stable enough to cut something out of it?
I don't know.
I'm thinking maybe with a mold or something.
Because I was thinking that if you could do, well, you could use a mold, which would work very well. You'd have to silicone that mold, spray it, which would defeat the object of the exercise. But not to make a flower as like you make a rose, but to make flat like daisy that you pluck on a cake type flowers.
So, you see this? I just stuck it between two spoons here. I wonder if it would stay. I have a feeling it might. Yeah, maybe it would need to be flat.
Yeah.
Wait, where's my paper?
Which person you cut it say with a daisy cutter? Apart from the fact that daisy
Of course, I don't have a single cutter here. I haven't actually ever seen that before, but I think it could work, yeah.
You just cut it into, make it a flat
Into
flower.
whatever shape, flower, yeah.
I'll give it a bash and try it and see.
Yeah, this is not a flower cut, it's just the lid of something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why not. It's actually cut it out quite nicely. And then just neaten it up with a knife or something. Just get rid of those.
Yeah.
This.
And there you go.
There you go.
Okay. You can try that.
Yeah. Awesome. If you had enough CMC in it, it would dry hard. It should become hard over time, in which case it will keep its shape. But it obviously is more crumbly with too much CMC.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Awesome. I'm going to go and just clean up, and then I'm going to log in again, and we can start. There are a few other people in the other one.
So what time's the other one? 11, hey?
11. Yes. What time is it now? I'm so confused. Oh, it's only 20 past 10, 25 past 10.
20 past 10. We started early.
And it's always quicker if there's just two of us because there's fewer questions. And oh, sorry.
Now that's. I'm going to go and I'm going to tidy up and I'm going to get all the sticky stuff off my hands. Go in search of some.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I was saying, I can hear you. Out of one ear. It's been blissful. I just ignore my children completely. And then they talk to me. I'm like, sorry, I can't hear you. What I was saying is that it always goes quicker if there's only two, like you and me, because then we just go at the pace that we are ready to go at. Whereas if there's other people, it's a bit of waiting around until everyone's at the same stage. But I think it's just 3 of us in the next one, so or 4 of us, you and 2 others. So
Okay, perfect.
cool. I'm gonna find more coffee. I'll see you in a minute.
Okay.
I'm gonna